Good morning. It's with sad hearts that we gather here this morning to celebrate the life of our beloved B.J. Thornton. She was a beloved mom, family, classmate, friend, and colleague. Some of us here this morning met Betty for the first time in the first grade at a Talbot County training school when we were in Miss Moore's room. Through the years, following years, we were together until the Northside Elementary School was completed, and then we were separated. And by the time we were in the 7th grade, we were reunited again. So we were together from the 7th grade through the 12th grade. And during those years, I knew Betty as quiet and timid, except on the dance floor. She knew all the dances and could do them well, and was selfless. If anybody needed to learn a dance, Betty would take the time to teach them. And then later, I'm thinking I was sophomore year, Betty became the second female to integrate the trombone section in our band. After the first young lady, Laura Dean Hilliard, graduated, Betty was the only female in the trombone section. Little Betty and that big trombone, but she held her own. And by the time that we were seniors, several young ladies decided to run for Miss Tipton Street. But Betty won that election, and she was crowned Miss Tipton Street in 1966. And since I was the captain of the football team, I was privy to walk and escort her on the field and off the field during the halftime homecoming celebrations. And I held the megaphone. We didn't have a microphone on the field at that time. I held the megaphone for her to make her speech. And then came May. That part of May, and we graduation time. And our class had the distinction of being the largest class in the history of Talbot County Training School, as well as Tipton Street High School to graduate. There were 105 of us in that class. And we all were wide-eyed teenagers with big dreams. And we finally went our way. And just for a side note, those of us that had enrolled in Jackson State embarked on another historic event. The 1966 freshman class was the largest class in the history of that institution. And then came 2019. I was strolling through the hub here in Costasco where we were bound to run into somebody we haven't seen in years and run past somebody we haven't seen for years because she didn't recognize him. I thought I recognized Betty. And I went against the grain, what I usually don't do, but I did. I called out, Betty. And she was walking with such urgency, pushing her cart. This was in Wallace World, Walmart. And she was walking with such urgency, pushing her cart, but she stopped. And she turned her attention in my direction. And she flashed that beautiful smile, and then addressed me the way that most folks addressed me that I've run into in 2019. She said, "Hey, Prince." Of course, I chuckled, introduced myself, and told her, you know, I'm taller than Prince. We both had a good giggle behind that. And I'm thinking this is going to be a quick hi and bye because Betty, a few words, and who was all, as I remembered her, who was also in a hurry to get out of Walmart, was going to be on her way. But 45 minutes later, she was still talking. Her mouth never rested. And I said to myself, boy, this is a different Betty. And as time went by and we chatted and our friendship grew, I decided that my assessment about her was correct. She was a different Betty. She was a mom, she was a caregiver, an organizer, a planner, and a spokesperson. She was a dedicated mom. She was a dutiful and faithful caregiver to her mom. She was instrumental in organizing the 1966 class members that were still residing in Kosciuszko. And since I had taken up residence here again, she invited me to join the group, and I'm so delighted that I did. We would meet once a month at a different venue. We would dine, reminisce, fellowship, and just have a grand time. And with Betty's personality, that lovely telephone voice that she had, she would keep reaching out to folks, and our numbers began to grow. And it was during this time that I met Angela, who would come to the Lake Betty to drive her home after one of the meetings one day. Betty was also an active member of the planning committee for the Bobcat Reunion, the event that a number of people across the country look forward to attending. And in the words of our classmate, Jimmy Ray French, when the Bobcat was down and was a member of the 1966 class, Betty was instrumental in making sure that there was a Bobcat wreath from the 66 class. There was a signed symphony card with a donation to the family from the class. She would get to the church or the funeral home early enough to make sure that the class was able to sit together. And then she would make an eloquent tribute to our fallen classmates. And during that tribute, she would make one request, the same request that I'm going to make in her honor. With the class of 1966, please stand. Family, classmates, friends, those we love don't go away. They walk beside us every day. Yeah. Unseen, unheard, and always near. Still loved, still missed, and always dear. Yeah. Thank you.